Good news, everybody. Dragon Age 2, well, I knew you wanted to hear that, but I, NikoTheLegend, also known as Well-Mannered Teenager and Snowflake, is here to tell you that Dragon Age 2 is backwards compatible on the Xbox One. As of, well, May 3rd. This is a little late in the video, but you know, Larry Erb, director of program for Xbox Live, announced that it's a thing, along with Saints Row 2. Now, Dragon Age 2, you love it, you hate it, you can't stand it, you want to play it. Very, very toss of a coin mix of emotions. But you know what? I think Dragon Age 2 isn't as bad as people thought it was. To be honest, I actually enjoy Dragon Age 2. Why did I enjoy it? Because I think it was one of those better games that actually dives into interior politics and what goes on in making a city run, and actually understand how people deal with being prosecuted, being discriminated against, accepting people for who they are, refugees and all that, this and that. You know, a lot of those politics that we see today that a lot of people are triggered by. So it's interesting that we see it in this game, and not many people like it, but like I said, I liked it. You can actually use it as a reflection of how today's going. Now, we won't dive too much into details, but you get the idea of refugees, immigration, borders, who's running the country and all that. And this is kind of the same thing, except we have medieval fantasy, blood, gore, the blight, and then Canary, and then this guy Hawk being this awesome like champion of Kirkwall, and then mix up all things. It's a lot more dark and grim, but you get the idea. And when I was playing, I played it recently on the stream not too long ago, and it was actually a pretty fun game to play. I enjoyed it. It was good to play it. It was very straightforward. I understand a lot of people didn't like how the RPG mechanics were dubbed down for a more action-oriented RPG, instead of kind of like the tabletop approach that the first game went to, or the tactical approach, which I understand that. And then they saw that and they tried to fix that in Dragon Age Inquisition. So in that game you got the best of both worlds. Although people didn't like the combat in that game either. Guys, I don't think anybody is gonna like Dragon Age combat at this point, because I couldn't stand the combat in Dragon Age 1 because it was slow, clunky, and obnoxious to play with, and too slow for my taste. But that's just me. But with Dragon Age 2, I was appreciative of the new design that they were going with. Now, I understand that people like to complain about the repetitive environments that you go through in the quests. I get that, because it definitely is a step back from the first game, because the first game you go across all of Thedas and get to go to these really, really awesome new towns and caverns and mountains and mines and forests. I get that. I get that. It's definitely a step back in that regard. But like I said, the fact that they only had 2 years, thanks to EA, or 2.5 years, well, BioWare was a part of that too, this is what they could have come up with. And I actually think it was good for what they did. And we used to talk about Dragon Age 2 being BioWare's biggest shortcoming, and then Mass Effect 3, of course, with its ending. But now, it's Mass Effect Andromeda. So Mass Effect Andromeda is definitely the biggest complaint, the biggest deal we have with this conversational stuff. Dragon Age 2, I think, is a blessing in disguise now. It's like the heat has gone off of it. And if you haven't played Dragon Age 2 in a while, try it out again. See how you like it. See if anything's changed. If you haven't played Dragon Age 2, or maybe even the first one, check it out. Check out the second one. If you just played Inquisition and you didn't know who the hell Hawk was in Inquisition, and he came back from 2, well, check that out. Which, by the way, I really liked Hawk. I thought he was awesome. I liked him. I liked how he was more of a he was a really, really serious guy, and kind of a little bit of a smartass. But what main hero, what archetype hero isn't a little bit of a smartass? Commander Shepard has many moments of like that too. But you know what? He gets the job done. He does it right. Saves people. Does all he can for the greater good. So that's all that matters. Now, like I said, I thought it was great. You get to see him in the third game of Inquisition, and I was like blown away. I was quite surprised. I was like, holy crap, this is happening. Well, as soon as Varric told me that a familiar face is arriving, or something like that. So I think it is Varric that tells you. It's been a while since I played that part. But yes, Dragon Age 2 backwards compatibility on the Xbox One, which is great. So now we get to experience more of BioWare's collection, which, like I said, give it another shot. And then let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, if you like Dragon Age 2 or not. Did you think it was the start of their biggest shortcoming, and then it just went downhill from there? Or where did their shortcomings really start? Was it from Mass Effect 3, or was Andromeda the biggest shortcoming ever? And that's when it all went to shit. Let's just say that, okay, if you're gonna compare Dragon Age 2 to Mass Effect Andromeda, just think of it like this: Mass Effect Andromeda is the reason why they're getting their shit back together and realizing how much of an impact it had on players and people all alike. That they're trying to make Anthem the best game ever was. They're trying to not repeat Mass Effect Andromeda. And I don't remember ever them saying about Dragon Age 2. No, of course they admitted shortcomings in Dragon Age 2, but it was nowhere as a commercial failure as much as Andromeda. At least there was so many. There are really no troll videos of the animation or any of that poor story writing, SJW stuff that we see today for Andromeda. It was rarely prevalent in Dragon Age 2, so you get the idea. Anyway, so yeah, let me know what you think and on how you feel about Dragon Age 2 being backwards compatible now. That's pretty great. It's pretty great. Oh yeah, Saints Row 2.